Hey everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. It's Thursday morning and the Globetrotting Gits are on the move. They arrive in Colombia today for a faux royal tour to bring more attention to themselves. They've hooked up with they've been invited by the vice president of Colombia, and she is as corrupt as you get, not a friend to the people, and she is unliked. She's got a character and a reputation, much like Meghan Markle actually does. But you know, they're heading for this 3-day tour without the support of Josh Kettler, their chief of staff. He just abandoned ship after only 3 months. And they're still going ahead with the tour. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch. But, you know, despite all of this, Meghan, you know, desperate times call for desperate measures. They have to put themselves out there, you know. And I'm convinced there's more to this trip than we're being told. I think Meghan's hatched a plan. And it's not the one that you've heard from other YouTubers. Lots of YouTubers are saying, oh, Colombia, it's so dangerous. And Meghan's gonna stage a fake kidnapping. You know, they might get ransom money. They'll certainly get sympathy and attention. She can, you know, wow, there's another notch in the victim belt, isn't it? But no, I don't think so. I don't think so. That's way too risky. Way too risky, and I don't think Meghan has the brains to put a plot like this together. You know, think of the people that she would have to employ to pull off a fake kidnapping, right? A whole lot of chances of something going wrong with that plan. And there's a dimension that she will not have considered, nor have anybody of the other YouTubers talking about it have mentioned this either. Maybe it's just me, but strap on your foil hats, guys. You know, we know that Meghan and Harry are being paid and supported by governments. They're being paid and protected by governments, by NGO entities. Who knows where all their money's coming from? You know, we know this. We know that behind the scenes kind of stuff. But you know what? There may be people behind them supporting them and protecting them. But there's also the fact that they're being watched by governments and security agencies. Any royal, no matter what they're standing, if they're running around the world, even staying at home, trust me, they're being watched, okay? We know that over the last couple of years, William has made it known that he has a relationship with MI5 and MI6. He's spent time with them. I'm sure he's getting critical reports on a regular basis. I'm sure that everything Harry and Meghan have been watched all along. And now, spooks. There's been lots of examples of spooks taking out enemies of the state, or what they consider enemies of the state. It's a matter of course. And how would they do that? How could they, let's say there's just then, you know, how could they, well, there's also lots of examples of let's say there's a plot. Two guys plan to do something and the CIA or the FBI or whatever spooks learn about the plot, right? And they infiltrate the plot to use it for their own ends, to further the agenda in some way. We've seen it. I mean, I can give you some examples right off the top of my head. 9/11. The Boston bombings. The bus bombings in Britain. You know? All you've got to do is research those a little bit and you'll see what I mean, a plot within a plot. Oh, it was just an exercise and somehow it went live and we don't know what happened, right? Exactly. If let's just say that Meghan was trying to put together some kind of a fake scheme and it was taken over and it went live, well, it's not like it hasn't been done before. Think Princess Diana, Research that too. What they're telling you is a lie. I warned you, foil hat time, guys, but here you go. If she were to try something like that, that plot would be known about, and should people behind the agents behind the scene decide with everything that's been going on and the true dangers that Harry and Meghan pose to the British royal family, mightn't it be just the time to get them out of the picture? Could happen. I'm just saying, if anything does happen, you gotta look to, it wasn't an accident, right? Okay, but I honestly don't think that this is going to happen, and I don't think Meghan will have done this. If something happens at all, it's going to be because it was meant to happen. Okay, let's just leave it there. That's my thoughts and opinions only. Stay with me, because what I think is going to really happen, I think Meghan has a plot. I think she has a plot, and I know what it is. And it's a direct time loop. I've talked about this several times now. And I'm getting excited because I want to see if this actually plays through the way I think it just might. We know Harry and Meghan are scrambling a little bit for money. Of course, none of their projects ever work. They don't have the money that they're purported to have, and they've really got not a lot bringing in. We know they're going to grift this trip for the millions. But what if she could suddenly come into like $50 million? How could she do? Well, I'll tell you how she's going to do it. She's going to fake a robbery. And you know what it's going to be? It's going to be all of the Diana jewels. But here's the thing, and I've said this over and over and over. She does not own any of Diana's jewels. She was not allowed to. What she has, the aquamarine ring, the butterfly earrings, the tank watch, and purportedly other pieces, have been proven to be reproductions. And she wears them to make it look like she's got them. The only thing she's got of any value are those blood diamond giant drop $75,000 earrings she got from some sheik when they got married. She's worn them a couple of times and got such heat for it, she's kind of tucked them away. Well, we know on every fake royal tour, every little trip they've taken, whether she's visiting kids in an inner city school or African kids, she's always dripping in, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry. She takes it with her everywhere she goes, right? So is she going to take some jewels to Colombia? Absolutely. Absolutely. And what if she took Diana's jewels? And what if they were stolen while they were in Colombia? What an international incident that would be. They would fix it up real quick. Harry and Meghan would be compensated millions. And she'd be able to milk that, right? That's the easiest thing she could try to pull off, and that fits right with the way her brain works. And you know what else? Fits right into the time loop. Can you imagine? Revisiting the time loop, we got to go way back to Edward and Wallace. The already exiled pair were visiting the Earl and Countess of Dudley in their Berkshire home in 1946. They'd been invited. They were in France at the time. Now, Wallace had brought with her boxes of jewels. Edward showered her with just tons and tons of jewels and gems. Now, what she took with her to the Dudleys in today's money was worth about $17 million. Now, when they got there, of course, the Dudleys, big country estate, of course they had a safe. Did Wallace lock up her jewels in the safe for the duration of their visit? She carelessly stowed them in a cardboard box under the bed of the guest room. And don't you know, while they were out to dinner at Selfridge's, somehow, with employees on the estate, security on the estate, somehow she was robbed, and all the jewels went missing. And I mean, even at the time, the story was sketchy. But in 1946, who's going to not believe a former king, still, exiled or not, still a royal, kind of the same status Harry has now? Ding, 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 ding. I mean, it's just following suit. So over a period of time, the insurance was paid out to them, and they made a pretty penny. Like I said, $17 million in our money today. Now, don't you know, years later, in the early 80s, after Wallace had died, there was an auction at Sotheby's of a lot of her jewelry, a lot of her pieces. And you wouldn't guess what turned up. All the jewels that were claimed in the robbery. They just tucked them away and took the money. And it wasn't discovered until she died, until after she was dead. There's the jewels. There was no robbery. They hoaxed it and performed an insurance fraud for a fast influx of money. And I think this is what Meghan's move is going to be. She's not doing it because she thinks, she doesn't, the time loop, it doesn't register with her. And sure, lots of people have talked about, oh, the similarities between Meghan and Harry, but I'll tell you, go watch my series. I have gone into it deeper, and there's just more meshy threads that tie the whole thing together in a historical overlay than you can imagine. Watch them all. And when you do, you can predict what's going to happen when you know the story. We're right in the timeline. So that's what I think is going to happen. There's going to be a robbery of Diana's jewels, which are reproductions. But the Columbia, it's going to be such a big international incident that they'll pay them out. But here's the rub. Everybody in the royal family knows their reproductions. The world may not, the wider public may not, the Colombian police may not, but the royal family does. And if she tries to pull this off, it'll come out, and they will be exposed once and for all. And wouldn't that be just the loveliest thing for all of us? Be done with Harry and Meghan, right? Wouldn't that be something? That's what I think is the most probable thing to happen. Should something very violent and untoward happen to them while they're on Colombian soil, I can almost guarantee you that there's some very interesting people involved that have a vested interest in controlling Harry and Meghan, right? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, it's going to be real interesting. Have a great day, everybody. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I want to know what you're thinking about all of this. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.